Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, ricmotech.com.
Welcome everybody to round number 8, the season finale of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech World Challenge, presented by Forma Elite, MRA Advisor Group, and Buttkicker here on Apex Racing TV. Tonight, we touched down on what was once known as Hendricks Army Airfield, a training site for the B-17 Flying Fortress and the B-24 Liberator pilots, but for the last 73 years has been known by a very different name. Starting with its first road race on New Year's Eve in 1950, so what's that, almost 75 years ago, and then soon afterwards, the first ever United States Formula One Grand Prix. The concrete that once withstood the pounding of giant airframes has been wreaking havoc on sports cars in both sprint and endurance races ever since, rattling loose every last nut and bolt for longer than almost every other road course in North America. I'm Greg Ginsburg, and joining me in the announce booth, as always, is Larry Lefty McLeod with Jonathan Grabowski in the virtual production trailer, bringing you all the best views of tonight's action. And so, good evening, Larry. After zooming around the Red Bull Ring 2 weeks ago, our drivers now touch down. They land in Central Florida with multiple championships on the line and many racers in contention.
Hey, Greg. Yeah, this is going to be an exciting night. Round 8, final round. This is it. We crown champions tonight. We got battles in a couple of classes that are so close, they're literally tied. It's going to come down to this race, and this race only is going to decide these champions. You can't get any more excited than that. Oh, what a great place for multi-class racing. Sebring is what we do here. It's what we've always done here for, as you say, 74 years or whatever it's been. And yeah, I'm excited. Let's get tonight going. Let's kick this thing off.
Yeah, let's definitely get things rolling here tonight as we have drivers out on track right now. Finishing up, I think they're actually finishing up their practice session right now, but they should be getting underway with qualifying here in just a brief moment. But let's do this, Larry. I think most of our viewers probably know this track very well, but let's turn things over to Kevin Ford. He's going to give us tonight's track guide of Sebring International Raceway.
Welcome, everyone, to Sebring International Raceway, located here in beautiful Sebring, Florida. Great weather today for your track guide around this 3 3/4 mile course. It is a doozy. 17 turns to get a lap done around here. Built in 1950, the very first Formula One, or U.S. Formula One race was held here in 1959. So this place has quite a bit of history. They've been holding events here, well, for over 70 years now. All right, let's head up the front straightaway. You'll notice our pit area to the right. A lot of campers will line up here to the left. As we head towards turn 1 under the walkway bridge here, this is a very fast entry. You want to get right down close to the wall there, get a nice roll off the exit. This will bring you into turn 2 and then a heavy brake zone right away down into turn 3 here. Right back to the left, back to the right, and then ultimately into turn 5 here. We'll get a nice roll up off this exit. Get some good speed to come up through turn 6. This will lead us towards turn 7 up here, the hairpin at Sebring. Another very, very tight brake zone, and it gets narrow down here as you come into this very tight rotating right-hander, right back to the left, and then right back to the right, up into Fangio, turns 8 and 9. Another fast section through here. You will see some overtaking opportunities as drivers lead up into Cunningham here. Heavy on the brakes once again. Tight right-hander. We'll come right back to the left through 12. This will lead us up into Tower Turn, turn 13 here at Sebring. Right down to the apex, got a good run up off the exit. This will bring us up through Bishop. Really fast section through here. Double left-hander. This will lead us into the little chicane here. To the right, back to the left, into Le Mans. And then ultimately out onto the backstretch. And this will bring us into the heaviest overtaking zone, obviously down this very long back straightaway here, as this brings us into Sunset Bend, the famous Sunset Bend. Very fast, but very treacherous and bumpy corner here as we come through Sunset and get right back to the bottom. Wide open up off this exit here. This leads us right back to the start-finish line at the amazing Sebring International Raceway. There you go. There's your track guide. Thank you for being with us.
And thanks so much to Kevin Ford for tonight's track guide of Sebring International Raceway. And, you know, Larry, I think, you know, as we watch Kevin go around this track and the challenges that it presents, of course, you know, yeah, it's, as everybody knows, it's, I mean, dead flat, but the bumps and everything here, you know, you go through Sunset and it just shifts the car around. We always see incidents happening here. And, you know, some of these drivers, they're going to have to, you know, be on their game tonight because we are, you know, so close right now in 2 of the championships, you know, for the actual season-long championship, and in the top 3 in another class, we've got separated by just a couple of points. And, you know, so, you know, not only do you have to be aggressive tonight, but you're going to end up, you know, really with an eye towards making it to the end of this race.
Yeah, this track is always about survival. We know the classic bumps and how this place plays out. It's also got some bottleneck places where overtakes can be at a premium, and I think a lot of that's going to play into the driver that survives tonight's got a chance at least to collect max points, and for some of our drivers, that means winning championships. You know, if you're in our GTP class, can you take chances? You might have to because you know where your rival is. You know what you got to do between those two. In some other classes, it may be more calculated to try and get a win. It's going to be fascinating to watch different strategies play out among the different drivers and who's going to be able to take home the big prizes tonight.
That's it. All right, so we've got qualifying underway now. We give our drivers 15 minutes in order to set their fastest lap, but there are always a few monkey wrenches here. We're only going to give them 4 flying laps in order to set that fastest lap and set the grid for tonight's race. All of our racers, they're going to have the track seemingly to themselves as we watch right now Robert Hartley, driver the number 3 Orion BMW, and Hartley finished 4th a couple weeks ago at the Red Bull Ring, and you can tell that he is one of our GT3 Pro drivers because he's got the red number boards on the side of the cars. He's got the Ricmotech red windshield banner, mirrors, and plates on the wings as well. And we'll see how he does because, you know, that is one of those championships that I was talking about here. So Mike Dam right now in GT3 Pro, Larry, he's got a 43-point advantage on the rest of the field going into tonight's last race. But Robert Hartley, his teammate, and Travis Schwenke, his other teammate, driving identical cars, they are currently separated by just 2 points coming into tonight's last round. And of course, Schwenke took the win at the Red Bull Ring a couple weeks ago. I'm sure he's looking to repeat tonight to hopefully hold off his teammate. All right,
and so don't count out the Ken Copeland who comes in tonight. We're probably go to points in a minute. He's only 4 points behind Schwenke for that 3rd spot. So between the 3 of them, there's 6 points. And Copeland was able to win that awesome race that, by the way, was on one of Apex Racing TV's highlights this week for the win at Monza a couple of weeks back. Legendary finish at that race. If he can pull that off again tonight, maybe he's got a shot to be on the podium for the season and maybe even 2nd spot. Could be pretty exciting, and he's hit some really good pace lately.
There you go. And there is Copeland right now out on his first flying lap in the Team Esport Racer Mercedes AMG. Let's take a look now as we talked about the GT3 Pro drivers and how we picked them out. Let's go find one of our AM drivers and let's take a look here at Michael Brooks from The Wrong Stuff racing in his Porsche 911. You can tell that he is one of our and actually, we're showing Michael Brooks. Michael Brooks has just set the pro category provisional pole. Let's move over now to Leo Dragota, who is currently our provisional pole sitter in AM. You can tell he's one of our GT3 AM drivers because he's got the green number boards, mirrors, windshield banners, and end plates on the wing. And here is one, Larry. Of course, Leo took the win 2 weeks ago at the Red Bull Ring over Dre Divock from The Wrong Stuff. And as those 2 drivers come into tonight's final round, there are only 4 points separating them here in the championship. Currently, Dragota from Dragon Sport has the advantage, and then it's quite a bit of a ways back to Jeff Brooks, sitting 3rd in the championship. But this is definitely the race that we're going to be, one of the 2 races that we're definitely going to be watching out for here.
Oh yeah, I think all 3 of them are going to be pretty fascinating. And also take a look at who the quickest of all the GT3s are right now. That is
Leo Dragota.
Yeah, he's got the 40,000th qualifying advantage on Divock. So close. But they're both ahead of the Brooks and Hartley and Copeland 159.7s that are happening in the GT3 Pros. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. Throw away the green number boards and throw away the Ricmotech end plates because it's not going to matter. What matters tonight is who is faster. Right now, Leo Dragota's got it, but we're not done with qualifying yet. Most of these drivers only have 2 laps. They're working on their 3rd. You might see a 158 pop up among these here in qualifying in GT3.
Yeah, and Larry, Leo Dragota was the fastest GT3 driver in practice this week here in the Ricmotech series. I believe we run 8 different practice sessions over the course of a week so the drivers could get a good feeling for their cars at the racetrack. And he only managed a 2-minute flat during the week, so he is already 4/10 underneath that, and I think you're or actually a half a second underneath that, and I think you're right. Well, I wouldn't be surprised in race trim to see some drivers get into the 58s tonight. Now let's move over to GTP, where our fastest driver currently here in qualifying is Bailey Petrowski. Bailey driving tonight for D2D Sim Racing in his Acura, and he currently has a best time in the books right now of a 142.19. Bailey and all the GTP racers. You can pick them out. They've got the black number boards and windshield banners on the cars, but again, very different profile from the GT machines. Bailey Petrowski did not take Bailey did take the win in GTP at the Red Bull Ring over Ben Rose. Margin of victory almost 25 seconds. And it was something that Petrowski needed, because both he and Ben Rose, who's currently our second fastest driver in qualifying, and we've got about 0.6 of a second separating those two drivers here in qualifying right now. As Petrowski's on his last lap, Rose is just about to finish up his third of 4 flying laps. As we come into the final round of the championship, Larry, Petrowski and Rose are tied at 388 points.
It does not get any closer than that. It looks like Ben Rose has himself a new livery tonight, as he's ready to get this whole party started. A little something maybe special there for the tropical Central Florida, perhaps matching with the palm trees. But it looks great. But yeah, coming in tied 7 events in. These two have basically split all the wins across them this season, with I think Bailey having the edge so far, I think 4-3 in that department. But at the end, if Ben gets the win tonight, it may come down to Rochambeau. Who knows what's going to end up being between these guys. This is super, super close, which means they know what each other has to do. When the green flag drops, they know which car they have to beat. I think it doesn't get any better than that.
There you go. And so we just had up on the screen there, John Grabowski had Ben Rose's teammate Ryan Reisman on screen here a few moments ago, as we switch back to Ben Rose, and it looks like the DNA Motorsports drivers are all running that festive South Florida, and maybe that Central Florida paint job with a little more red there, and I'm not exactly sure what that is on the side. It looked like some reeds and what have you. Yeah.
It's nice though. I like it. It's festive. It's not quite a holiday festive spirit, but it is my kind of holiday festive. I think it's interesting. It's cool. It's going to get plenty of camera time tonight. I can tell you that. It's a good shot of it.
All right, and Rose is now coming down the Ullman Straight, and coming into the sunset turn, final turn here at Sebring on what will be his very last flying lap, looking to improve upon a 1:42.19, which is Petrowski's provisional pole time. And as Petrowski crosses the line, he drops it down to a 1:42.66. So looks like he is going to start to the right of Bailey Petrowski in tonight's 75-minute battle. As we're on board right now with Iago Mores from the Wrong Stuff Racing, driving the number 9 machine, and he is currently, Larry, not only your provisional GT3 Pro pole sitter, but he has managed to turn in a faster time than Leo Dragota at this point. So he's your fastest GT3 driver. He is now completing his 3rd flying lap. He can do one more if he wishes here as the time in the books, and he resets fast lap at a 1:59.31. Great run there.
I think that's a pretty quick lap there. So we'll see if he's able to go any quicker here on his 4th and final flyer. Right now on the provisional pole, kind of bringing the magic that he had at the Glen a couple of weeks ago. Now down here to Sebring here in the finale of the series. He's had some serious pace in a couple of races this year. He might be a pretty good, a little bit of a wild card spoiler, if you will, in this GT3 Pro class tonight when we've got that big battle going on for second. Iago doesn't have enough events to have the points to finish in that top 3, but he can certainly play spoiler to those that are trying, like Hartley, Schwenke, and Copeland, of course.
All right, and we just saw Copeland wave off his last flying, wave off the end of what would have been his final flying lap, and he is going to start, it looks like 6th in GT3, 4th in Pro. But let's do this, Larry. We were just talking about that that fight coming into the last round in GTP between Ben Rose and Bailey Petrowski. We've got Ben Rose from DNA Motorsports sitting in the green room right now. Let's talk to him a bit before tonight's race.
All right, Ben Rose is joining us, and Ben's here coming into tonight in the tightest of all battles. 7 events down, 1 event to go, and Ben, you and Bailey tied coming in at Sebring tonight. Are you a little nervous at all, or are you just ready to get the game going?
Definitely nervous, but I'm just I'm done with it, with all the practice and all the trying to get the best setup. I'm just ready to go out there and race. Fastest person will be the winner.
Yep, a fast is going to win. So you hoping to maybe get out in front? You hoping to maybe just stay with Bailey and maybe do a better pit stop, save some fuel? You got any tips on what your strategy might be tonight?
I can't say. I mean, Bailey's just he's always quick with the quali. So I think I mentioned the prior. I'm not too good at qualifying. I'm mostly good at the race pace. So if I could get a start on him, I know the Acura has a sluggish start. If I could take advantage for that and take the lead, that's a possibility. If not, try to stay behind him and maybe try to pressure him and stay as close to him as possible throughout the whole race. And maybe through the pit stop, maybe something can happen. But we'll
Yeah.
see.
Well, we also noticed that the DNA Motorsports team, you guys have a little new livery here running for the finale here at Sebring. Any story behind the new paint on the car?
Yeah, that's for my teammate Ryan. We used to run the Audi back in the LMP1 days, and they used to have a while back. They had a livery of an alligator, and we decided to kind of adopt that for every time we do a Sebring race. So that's the story of it.
Perfect. The Gators are on the prowl here in the swamp of Sebring, so I love it. So we're excited to see this battle. You and Bailey, mano a mano, ready to go at it here for one final round to see who can win it all and win this race. So not to pump you up or anything, but anybody you want to, I guess, here pre-race, you want to give a thanks to for helping you get at least a chance here tonight, and maybe help you with the setup or help you practice this week?
Oh, definitely my teammates Ryan, Tanner, and Adam. We've been working together trying to get the best we can. Trying to get the best the show possible at the end of the last race. Yeah, we just want to finish, and hopefully I can come on top. And if not, then Bailey's been a great competitor, and if he wins it, then he deserves it wholly. Oh, by the way, if you get to see me in the cam, I got a little sign for you. Okay.
Oh, nice. We'll be looking for that for sure. All right. So
Don,
Ben,
get on that.
good good luck tonight, Ben. Maybe with any luck, we'll get to talk to you when it's all said and done.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Hopefully talk to you later then.
All right, there you go. Ben Rose, driver the number 5 DNA Motorsports. What is he driving? Oh my gosh, I forgot what he's driving.
He's in the Cadillac.
In the Cadillac, that's right. All right, there you go. So thanks so much to Ben as we are just wrapping up qualifying here, Larry, and we've got our drivers heading to the grid. Let's see if we can run down the starting order.
All right, so on the pole tonight in this hotly contested class of GTP, it's Bailey Petrowski from D2D Sim Racing and his rival. We just talked to him, Ben Rose from DNA Motorsports, to start alongside him in that front row. The second row is going to be on the inside for Fernando Takahashi from WJM Motorsports, and on his outside is going to be Ben Rose's teammate from DNA Motorsports, Ryan Reisman. On row 3 on the inside, it's Bailey's teammate, Bobby Childs from D2D Sim Racing. Can he get up there and play spoiler in this? We'll have to see. But on his outside, it's the third in a row. On that row is going to be Tanner Dibble from DNA Motorsports. The entire outside lane right now covered by DNA Motorsports. And that continues on row 4, where the outside is Adam Ross from DNA Motorsports. And the inside is Aaron Beaver from Aerokinetics. And then finally on row 5, it's WJM Motorsports Fernando Takahashi's teammate, Bill Mulfield, in GTP row 5.
All right, let's move over to the GT3s, where your pole sitter tonight and your GT3 Pro fastest driver in qualifying from the Wrong Stuff Racing is Yago Mori. Starting to his right, our GT3 AM pole sitter, Leo Dragotta. Michael Brooks will start on the inside of row number 2, along with Dre Divock, who is, again, sitting there just a couple points behind Leo Dragotta in that battle for the GT AM Championship. Robert Hartley will start on the inside of row number 3 with Ken Copeland right beside him. Jeff Brooks and Travis Schwenke making up row number 4. Then we've got Alex Brown and David Payton starting side by side in row number 5. And then row number 6, starting in 11th position, it's David Steiner with Chris Thorman from D2D Sim Racing starting in 12th. And we've got Jeff Jacobs and Lucas Dragotta with Michael Caffrey and Jackson Detmer starting next. Then Dominic Angelicchio, welcome back Dominic after a couple races off, and Russ Ruddock. Then we've got John Casey and Philip Caffrey, and then Bringing up the rear in GT3 going to be Greg Brockway from Frito Sport and Robert Brist from RFC Racing.
Worth noting is our points leader in GT3 Pro not here tonight. Mike Dam
Right.
not playing. Figured he's going to let these guys sort it out and thinking maybe his points lead might be enough. Probably is. But that just means that the likes of Hartley, Schwenke, and Copeland may be fighting it out for that second, third, and fourth on the points. And it's all said and done. Can Yago, Mores, and the others play spoiler?
Indeed. All right. So as our drivers now are on their pace lap and heading down through the hairpin there, wanted to thank one of our great sponsors here this season with the Ricmotech World Challenge, and that is Buttkicker, who once again this season is going to be giving away a Buttkicker Gamer Plus package, $280 package to one lucky driver here in the World Challenge. Definitely stick around once the racing is over as we talk to some of our championship winners, as well as give that prize away live on the air. We'll have Jeff Jacobs in the booth to help with that, and we want to give a thanks to Buttkicker. And if you want to turn up the immersion in your sim rig, you can visit them at thebuttkicker.com.
I'm excited.
I am too.
I get the chills. Like the front row of this GTP gets to lead this crowd down the front straight. We know Sebring always entertains that bottleneck, that funnel effect going down at turns 2 and 3 on the opening laps is always fascinating. But I wonder if these guys are a little bit tight. Keep your eyes on Takahashi, Ricmotech, and even Bobby. Bobby's been conservative lately, where we know Takahashi and Ricmotech are not usually the most conservative drivers. They can play spoiler here. And then in the GT3 side, Yago Mores, always fast. Leo, though, leading his class, he's up in the front mix. Divock right there with him, right behind him, in fact. Mores and his teammate Michael Brooks is right with him. And this is all sorts of subtle stories in here as these guys are starting to cue things up here in the GTP. This is going to be pretty exciting.
All right, so the pace car now bringing the field down onto the Ullman Straight, the long back straightaway here at Sebring International Raceway, basically 3 3/4 miles and 17 turns. And we've got the GT3 cars. They're a little bit further back. They're going to take the green separately here, but we should see the pace car now bring them through the final corner. And Larry, here in GTP, where Petrowski had 4 wins, Rose had 3. It would be interesting to see another driver play spoiler here in the very last round of the season, as the pace car now is on the pit lane, turning the field over to Bailey Petrowski with Ben Rose to his right. And we're waiting for the call from the starter. And we're green. We are racing here at Sebring International Raceway. And the runners are now making their way down to turn 1 for the very first time. And you said, Larry, there's Takahashi. Takahashi and Rose get together on the very first corner. That's going to move Rose much further back in the field.
He survived.
He did. Rose now sitting all the way back in 7th position as Bailey Petrowski now opens up an early lead over his teammate Bobby Childs.
It might have been, is that
that's Aaron Beaver.
Yeah, so it's 2 spins already on cold tires, but I'm sure we'll have I think John's going to get us a replay queued up in just a moment, but I think we've got a GT3 race getting going first. Yes,
all right, here we go as our GT3 drivers come to the line. Green flag now in the air. And it is actually Leo Dragotta and Dre Divock sitting up at the front. Yago Mores dropping back in the 3rd position here. Not a great start for our pole sitter Mores. Then Ken Copeland, Hartley, Schwenke side by side as they now come down into turn 3.
That's Brooks right behind them. Yep, so the 2 teammates there in Orion were together. Brooks in the wrong stuff Porsche was right there with him. Boy, that got a little crazy. They're starting to sort things out, but I think we've got a replay of that opening lap incident there at GTP. Let's take a look at that.
Let's take a look here, Larry, as they come down into turn 1, and we saw Takahashi. He tried to sneak right up underneath our pole sitter and take the inside.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he never held the inside is the issue. He started sliding out right into the path of Ben Rose. I don't think he had anywhere to go. We'll let the stewards figure that one out. But right now, Takahashi looks like he may be out of this race.
And that is unfortunate so early on as we take a look here, and we're looking at the battle right now. This is Jeff Brooks in the wrong stuff Porsche, currently sitting 3rd in AM, but Larry, he has 7 pro drivers between he and Leo Dragotta and Dre Divock. He's got a big fight in his hands, as it looks like Jeff Jacobs runs wide coming out of coming out of the tower turn, and he's going to try and slot back in line here, loses a couple positions.
Yeah, keep our eyes on Kent Copeland. Again, he's in that battle potentially for second in the championship. We're assuming that Mike Dam is unreachable for first. But the second place, Copeland is fighting with Schwenke and Hartley, the two Orion drivers. Copeland in a very good start here. Yep. He and Schwenke both able to get ahead of Hartley on that opening lap there. So that's a good thing for him in this Mercedes. Keep your eye on him as he's going to try and keep up with Iago Mores. And that is the 97 of Aaron Beaver now into the pits. Looks like he's on the toe and out of this race.
Yeah, so 2 spins early on here for Aaron Beaver. One on the first lap, one early on in the second lap. Let's take a look and see what happened to him the second time around.
All right, so again, coming down into the turn 2 and 3 complex here. Just loose, just cold tire loose, it looks like.
Yeah.
Backs into the wall.
Yep, and in practically the same place where he had an issue on the very first lap.
Yeah.
So a big challenge there as Petrowski now opens up here as we're not even finished with our second lap. Petrowski now with a 4-second advantage over Bobby Childs, his teammate, with Ryan Reisman second. Ben Rose now moves up into 4th position. And you can see there, Rose, he's got a beat on his teammate, Ryan Reisman. I'm sure if push comes to shove, Reisman's going to give up the fight a bit early here to help his teammate in the fight for the championship.
Yeah, it's good for Rose to limit the damage, hopefully not any damage for him, for the contact with Takahashi there in that opening corner. But this is good. I mean, it probably makes him a little more nervous than he thought he was going to be, needed to be going into this. But now it's just a matter of putting your head down. But remember I mentioned that Bobby Childs is the teammate to Bailey Petrowski. Bobby could play a little bit of spoiler here as he made his way up into second spot with all that chaos in the opening lap. He's got the 2 DNA Motorsports entries now behind him. He can hold them up just a little bit and give his teammate Bailey a chance to run away.
Yeah, and we're seeing that already as Petrowski just now sets the fastest lap. And again, we're only talking 2 laps in the books with a 1:43.45. Running about a second faster than our championship contender Ben Rose, as Bill Molefield has had a bit of an issue there. Looked like over by what was that, Larry? Over by turn coming out of the hairpin, it looked like.
May have been. Let's see if we can catch a replay on this one. Yeah, that's him going into the hairpin at 7. See, he's already by himself. Wow, that's rear lockup.
Yeah.
That's what that is, a massive amount of rear lockup there in that initial bite. So maybe we'll be watching his brake bias here on these opening laps. Didn't make any contact though, it looked like, so that's good.
No.
Here you go. Here's what you talked about, Ben Rose not having much of a fight from teammate Ryan Reisman. Ryan going to go ahead and let him go by, but a little bit of fight not. There. Maybe Ryan misjudged how far Ben needed that inside line, but that's good for Ben. Now he's back up in the 3rd spot behind now Bobby Childs.
That's right. So all right, let's jump back over to the GT race here, and this is what is right now certainly the battle for second here in GT3, but in that battle for the championship, Larry, we've got Schwenke and Hartley, who were separated only by 2 points coming into the evening, and as you mentioned, only 4 points further back from that, Kent Copeland leads that pair here currently early on lap number 3.
Yeah, Copeland doing a very good job holding his ground up there, but this is a long, long night. We've got 75 minutes tonight. We're only 5 minutes in. He knows that the race isn't over yet, and we know those Orion guys are really good at pit strategies and fuel strategies. If they get in these positions, they have a history of saving fuel. We'll see if they're able to, but if Copeland can stay up underneath the back of Iago Mores, perhaps he can do his own fuel saving and negate anything that the Orion team's doing behind him.
Of course, we'll have to see here. I'm sure Michael Brooks from The Wrong Stuff, who's sitting directly behind that pair, probably doesn't really care much at all about their fuel saving capabilities, and might create some problems, at least for Hartley, who's only about a half a car length ahead of him right now as they come into sunset to complete lap number 3. But very tight, very close running here in Pro, as you can see there, just behind Brooks's Porsche, the 2 Ferraris of Peyton and Thorman from D2D Sim Racing, very close behind, and then there is. There we see the other Dragotta. That is Lucas Dragotta, a little bit further back. That is our championship leader's teammate. in the 119 Dragon Sport car, and currently holding down 5th place in AM ahead of Detmer and Caffrey.
There you go. There's Ben Rose now trying to get back up into 2nd spot to get around Bobby Childs, the D2D entry, and it looks like Ben is able to successfully do that now in front of Bobby. So he's 8 seconds back from Bailey, but he's back where he knew he needed to be at least. Now he's got to go find 8 seconds over the next 73 minutes.
73 minutes or so, yeah.
Also, a couple little orders of business to catch up on. We had the incident reviewed between Takahashi and Ben Rose. It was deemed to be no action, no further responsibility to no penalties there. But there was an incident we did not see a replay on. That was between the 61 of Philip Caffrey and the 62 of Greg Brockway. The 61 of Caffrey was issued a drive-through penalty for responsibility in that incident. So just they're going to catch up on that. No other review is currently under consideration from the stewards.
Yeah, and it looks like Brockway is, well, let's see here. It looks like he is sitting towards the tail end of the field.
Oof, yeah, he's got some damage as well already.
Yeah. All right, we have a replay here, Larry. As John has been able to dig things up. Let's take a look and see what happened.
That's opening lap. As Brockway now coming into that opening sequence, and it might be the Ferrari behind him that catches him. Yeah, I believe that's Caffrey in that Ferrari that clips the backside of Brockway and sends him into the barrier that he's going to carry that damage for a while.
Yeah, so we've got, it looks like 2 noseless Ferraris at this point as Caffrey lost his under braking going behind Brockway, but here we go. Let's take a look. This is Tanner Dibble, I believe one of the 2 Porsches in the field. And going down right with Ryan Reisman, and Tanner Dibble now moves up into 4th in the Porsche 963 machine.
Yeah, so it's one of the DNA entries on the other, one of the other DNA entries getting around there. Reisman had that pretty good start, was ahead of teammate Rose, and now falling behind Rose and behind Dibble.
Apparently, Dibble didn't get the Florida Gator paint scheme.
There's a look at Reisman there, the DNA entry. Camera shot on him tonight, working his way down through the hairpin. And that's Bob, and tied up there with
Dibble.
Was it with Dibble?
Yeah, it was Dibble. Dibble got into the back of Bobby Childs as they came through the hairpin, and that is going to drop Childs back into 6th, and that also moves Ryan Reisman now back up into 3rd position as he gets around Dibble.
Well, we'll see what if the stewards are going to take a look at that. Yeah, they are going to review this one, the 88 of Bobby and the 963 of Tanner Dibble.
All right, let's take a look and see if we got another shot.
Oh, so Bobby goes around again, but we'll catch that in a minute. All right, so here you got Bobby leading, Dibble coming into the hairpin, Dibble on the outside, Bobby on the inside. I got to say Dibble probably a little bit aggressive there, trying to stay on that outside. Yeah. Bobby really not much place to go. We'll see what the stewards have to say about it. And then Bobby, of course, insult to injury, spins 2 corners later.
Yeah, so that's going to move. Well, Bobby was already then sitting back in 6th with Bill Mofield at 7th. And we'll see how that plays out as we jump back up now to GT racing, Larry. And we've got the 2 wrong stuff racers, actually just as the Porsche, just as the Porsche of Dibble comes through. But you can see the gap now that Leo Dragotta, who is our leader in GT3 now, is opened up over his championship contender, Dre Divock. It's been now about 7 car lengths, and Divock has his teammate, our GT3 Pro leader, directly behind, and that's Iago Mores. And Iago now is under heavy pressure from Ken Copeland, who has managed to work his way free of the pair from Orion for them, at least for the time being.
Just a little bit, maybe a little bit of help from all of this GTP traffic coming through, as you get a good shot there of the teammates from DNA trying to get their way through there. One of them goes around. Which one was that?
That was, and going around, that's Ryan Reisman in the Cadillac, the 414 machine.
Wow. Yeah, for a minute there, I thought perhaps that was Rose, but still, one of those cars from DNA with the Gator livery on it. No longer. There's been a lot of spins down there at that hairpin now the last couple laps.
Yeah, and I don't know what happened there. It looked like Reisman tried to go around the outside of the 2 Orion cars there, and we'll hopefully be able to pull that up here in just a moment. So let's take a look. I think we've got it queued up and ready to go.
All right, so coming
and you
in,
see Schwenke there on the outside.
it looked like there the Ricmotech had to kind of check up a little bit. Schwenke was on the outside, didn't really have a lot of place to go, but probably needed to back out considering position of the car and the way that corner is going. That's almost the same incident that happened between Bobby and Dibble just a lap or two ago. I'm wondering if what the steward's going to do on this one. Yes, that incident's under review. Still no ruling on the first one we saw. Let's see what they say on both of these now.
All right, and what we also seen in that sequence, Larry, is that Michael Brooks from the Wrong Stuff Racing, the number 83 machine, he has now been able to insert himself between the two Orion racers. So move Brooks now up into 4th in pro, slotted right between Travis Schwenke and now Robert Hartley, who sits 4th.
Yeah, Schwenke didn't really lose any positions there with that contact that he had with the GTP car, so he's able to hang on to that position, but we'll see if the stewards have anything to say about this. This could have championship positioning impact if there's any penalty given to Travis Schwenke and his involvement in that accident. This could be very interesting for the likes of Copeland and Hartley, who are involved in that same points chase. Look at Brooks, just all over the back. Of course, that's Michael Brooks. There are
Yeah,
two
I was going
Brooks
to
in
say
the field. That's not Jeff. That's Michael. Jeff is number 85.
Yeah, the other Brooks brother, and he looked a little non-committal going down into the hairpin that time. But given how much has happened at turn 7, the last number of laps, I can't exactly blame him for being a little cautious there, coming under braking behind the 16 machine. But yeah, he has been. And we see now as he's trying to pull out alongside the 16 machine, coming out of Collier and going into the tower turn. He has been quite aggressive here, Larry. I don't think he really gives one you know what about Schwenke's and Hartley's fight in the championship right now.
Probably doesn't, but he's certainly in a fight here now. And look, he may even get an opportunity as a bad line for Schwenke through the first part of the S's. And they make contact. They're both going to spin, and Schwenke now may be in review for 2 different incidents. Was that Hartley?
Oh my. Yeah, as we moved over to that shot of the Brooks car, as we were looking out the windshield, Larry, I just saw it make that small change in attitude coming through the second part of Le Mans. Oh, there's been contact there, so we'll see what happens. But that now moves Chris Thorman up into 4th in pro, and you can see Hartley in that championship battle with his teammate now, almost 7 car lengths ahead of that fight behind. All right, let's take a look, Larry. I think we've got one of the Schwenke incidents lined up here. Let's take a look and see what happened going into Le Mans.
All right, so there's Schwenke on the outside. At this point now, the outside, he turns in, and I tell you, this is going to be an interesting one to review because it looked to me like Brooks had the line on the inside. Now, going back to the prior incident, the one that they had with Ryan Reisman, the stewards have reviewed no further action on Schwenke or Reisman in that one. Now they're reviewing the incident between Michael Brooks and Travis Schwenke. Let's see if this one incurs a penalty.
Yeah, and you know where, and I don't know if John can go back to that incident one more time, and you saw there where Schwenke if we could take a look at the last Schwenke incident, John, you could see that the rear end got very loose going in to the first entry right there. Yep. And as he got thrown offline, and once again, as he tried to bring the car back over to the left and set up for the last part of the turn, that car was just out of sorts the whole way through that complex.
Well, I think it was very loose coming in on the first right-hander, and that's what set up the opportunity for Brooks to go to the inside. But I think Schwenke just misjudged. I think he turned in when Brooks may have been trying to maximize his swing to the left to make the final right onto the element straight. But I don't think that Schwenke has any leeway to take that ground.
No.
I really think that really is Brooks's line. Now, so that incident is still under review. Well, let's see what the stewards have to say. My opinion, if I'm a steward, I'd be looking to Schwenke as a penalty because he seems like he turned into a spot that he didn't have the right to.
He didn't have the right to. All right, as we jump back over here and take a look, this is once again Lucas Dragotta, currently running 5th in AM with Jackson Detmer and David Steiner, the Australian behind, and then there's Jeff Jacobs sitting in that in the yellow BMW. He is currently running 7th in pro, and should be noted just ahead of Michael Brooks, who was in that incident just a few moments ago. But for the time being, it looks like Dragotta seems to be holding his own. He's got, let's take a look here. He's got, I think, probably around, looks like around 3-4 seconds up to Alex Brown directly ahead of him.
And that's quite the stack up right now. All those BMWs just climbing all over the back of the one Porsche. This is interesting with the different strengths of these different cars here.
Yeah, indeed. Now, so Lucas also finished up on the podium at the Red Bull Ring at the last round there. While his brother took the win in AM, Lucas came home in third. As let's jump back over here, Larry, a little bit further up the field, and this is the battle for the lead in Pro, in GT3 Pro, with our pole sitter tonight, Yago Mores, and we said that Ken Copeland's been awfully aggressive, and you know, before this, before the drivers even took to the track for qualifying, you were mentioning the Mercedes driver and how he could really be a, you know, really be a thorn in the side of the two Orion guys in that battle for second in the championship.
He could be, and he's playing a big part of that right now, just ahead of Copeland as Mores, but they would both like to catch up to the battle of the AMs out in front of them, because Leo's got a bit of a 2.5 second advantage right now on Dre Diebach, but those two are starting to pull away a little. All the traffic from all the GTP cars, they've managed to get a couple car lengths between this battle of Mores and Copeland. I just want to note that Bobby Childs in his GTP car did come in for a pit. He's back out. He was in for about a minute. I suspect perhaps he had a little bit of damage from his contact and spins that he wanted to repair, but he's back underway. So fan favorite Bobby Childs out on the track, and at some point we'll probably get to see a close-up on his livery, just saying.
Oh no.
Just saying, if John can get us a nice
I mean,
close-up
the camouflage, I mean, he always has the camouflage, which makes it difficult to see him to begin with.
Yeah, maybe a little side shot.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
yeah. Yes, that would be you and I, Greg.
Oh, wonderful.
Wait,
are you holding me or am I holding
no,
you?
I think your back. I think your back is stronger. I think you're holding me.
That's probably, yeah, that's typically the way it works. All right.
You're always carrying me, Greg.
That's right. Oh my, oh my. Ugh. If it's not me, it's Hayward Wagner. Anyway.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. All right, so here we go with, here's Schwenke now trying to hold off David Payton.
And still no ruling on the incident between Schwenke and Brooks. Still waiting on the stewards to make a decision on that. That'll be interesting, but for now, you can see him right now just ahead of the D2D entry of David Payton, and then of course Jeff Brooks, the other of the Brooks, maybe looking for revenge for Michael Brooks.
Oh my gosh. It's starting to sound like we're going circle track racing here.
It might be. David Payton's like, you two take us outside. I'd like to just keep going and catch up with my teammate Chris Thorman just ahead.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say they're not all that far behind Thorman at the moment here.
And they've even now raised up Alexander Brown, Alex in the Porsche, another one of the Canadians at the back of that train. So you've got a whole series of cars there between the BMW, the Ferrari, and a whole handful of Porsches now starting to line up behind Schwenke.
And Larry, we just saw the pass for the lead there as Ken Copeland works his way around Yago Mores, and Yago made that. I don't know if he was setting a defensive line going in the sunset or if he literally just pulled offline to let Copeland by, but Copeland made it look pretty easy there.
Let's catch a quick replay then, see if we get a different angle and see if it looked more deliberate, courteous, or something else. It does look like Copeland gets a great run off of the Le Mans S's now coming onto the straight. And he definitely lifted.
Yeah.
Does Mores, and I wonder if,
Maybe.
I don't know if he would have had a course cut. I wonder if perhaps
did he get an off track at I mean, certainly you don't get an off track at Le Mans.
Like he did. Well, you do. If you cut the course on the Apex, you can pick up an off track or even a slowdown. So I'm wondering if perhaps he did. But I tell you what, Yago Mores drops back a little bit as Copeland now finds himself chasing down Divock and Dragotta for the top positions.
Yeah, he made up a lot of ground very quickly there, as he's now about a second and a half back from Divock, but definitely, well, all three of those drivers right now running with almost exactly the same pace, running right at about 2 minutes and a half.
All right, we got an update on the Schwenke and Michael Brooks. There will be no penalty. It was considered to be a warning for avoidable contact, but only a warning for that incident. Boy, the stewards, they want them to decide this on the court,
On
as
the
they
track.
say. Yep. Don't want to have this one decided in the stewards room tonight. They're going to let them play. We're just waiting for that pass interference call to come, and it's just not coming.
This does, and instead it's like
More contact.
And
Again,
that's
it's
Michael
Michael
Brooks.
Brooks. Oh, my goodness, the guy's going to hate that corner tonight. This time he was on the outside.
and it looked like he going into Le Mans, he and Jeff Jacobs had. It looked like Jacobs had just gotten a pass made on the 83 machine, just then as that GTP car was coming through, and I think the lucky recipient there, sitting right in the middle right now, David Steiner, in that number 63 BMW.
I can tell you, Michael Brooks' fan Anna in the chat is not thrilled with that steward's
Oh, I can
ruling, but
imagine.
hey, don't shoot the messenger is all I gotta say. It's Greg's fault.
Yeah, Larry, I can't prop everybody up. I can't hold them all up. I'm sorry.
I know, it's hard enough work just to carry me. I get it.
I know.
All right, back up to Schwenke in this train. You can see just about a second and a half ahead of him is Thorman, and that right now is enough daylight that there's no draft help. And it's a great opportunity for those GTPs to dive in front of Schwenke and hold his progress coming off the corner. So he's got to worry more about the D2D Ferrari behind him than the one in front of him right now, as Peyton is all over Schwenke's tail.
Here as they come down into Le Mans. And so what you're saying, Larry, is which apex? Is it the final apex right here that you can get the off track? If you go a little bit too far to the inside?
Off tracks are pretty plentiful in that area. This whole track has got a couple of them. But if you cut that too hard, you can get a course cut penalty if you go actually too tight on one of those apexes. So it's possible that that's what happened to Moraes. Or perhaps he just had such a bad run, he didn't think he wanted to be in front of Copeland anymore and figured he'd rather sit behind him. I'm not really sure. At this point, only Iago Moraes knows the truth.
All right, watch here as Reisman in the 414 machine in the 414 Cadillac, and he's got his teammate Adam Ross directly ahead. This is the battle for fourth right now.
Yeah, Ben Rose just ahead of him. And these two guys are 20 seconds behind Bailey Petrowski, who just ripped off the fastest lap of the race by anything and anyone, a 43.3 for Bailey Petrowski to what Rose and Dibble are running in the 46s. Petrowski right now running at a level. Now, we've seen crazier things, but Ben Rose knows he's got to start putting in some qualifying laps to have any shot to win this championship and steal it away from Bailey Petrowski.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard one to keep up, or to make up in the pits. Obviously, traffic's going to have a lot to do with it. But, Larry, right now, as you mentioned, Petrowski on a completely different level, running almost 3.5 seconds a lap faster than Ben Rose. And Rose running very similar lap times to his teammate in the Porsche Dibble. But, certainly not going to... at this point, as he's and Petrowski's still running in the mid 43s here as he just completes another lap. I mean, it's going to be very difficult for Rose to make that up here in what, about 50 minutes or so.
Yeah, as we're approaching kind of just past the 1/3 way point here, Petrowski right now is just in such a groove, just laying those laps down corner by corner, and when he gets to traffic, he's just doing a ballet between them, as he doesn't seem to be slowed up by traffic as much as the others, like Ben Rose, Tanner Dibble, seem to be slowed up. Look at that, another one. comes out of the hairpin, perfectly timed, no problem, goes against or right around Robert Brist in that BMW like there was nothing in front of him. Super smooth. That's Jeff Brooks in battle with Peyton.
And so Peyton currently running 6th in Pro, 8th in GT3, and Jeff currently is your 3rd place runner in AM. And again, he's got not only David Peyton, but he's got 5 other pro drivers that he would need to get around in order to get up to our 2 leaders in AM, Dragotta and Divock, who lead the entire GT3 field at the moment. And you know, Larry, this is starting to turn into a recurring theme here with Leo Dragotta, and you can see the gap that Dragotta has now opened up over Dre Divock. As Dragotta led the majority of the Red Bull Ring event as well. You know, he's hasn't told us who that coach is, but I know every time we've interviewed him in the last couple of events, he talks about the coaching that he's been getting and how much it's helped him out. And he is really over the last two-thirds of the season has really shown some amazing things.
Yeah, he really has, and he's been very consistent. He knows how to collect points. He knows how to get wins when he needs to, and right now he's just looking super smooth. He is the class of the GT3 field, let alone the AMs. And I tell you what, he's starting to peek under the Christmas tree to see if there's a championship in his sights. And one of those boxes starting to shake him a little bit, maybe kind of peek in the wrapper and see what's inside. And can't open it yet. No. We've still got ourselves about, we'll call about 35 minutes or so before he can open his any kind of a present, but he's hoping inside's a championship in GT3M. 45 minutes, I guess. Man, it's tough. Need like one of those advent calendars here, so you can open up, have a piece of chocolate every 10 minutes as we wait for the last lap.
Calendar. Yeah, you pop open a little door every time we click off 10 minutes in the in the race.
Exactly. Need my piece of chocolate as we get down to the second half of tonight's race.
I was just gonna say. well, Larry, depending on how much chocolate you have, I might not be able to hold you up in the new year.
Oh, you just wait. Wait till we come back. I'm gonna put on that holiday 15. Bobby's going to need a whole new livery for me. But anyway, back to the action here. It's still Lucas Dragotta, this time with Jeff Jacobs behind him, Michael Brooks, and David Steiner, one of the other Australians in the field, in that number 63, just behind the wrong stuff of Michael Brooks. Haven't talked much about Steiner here this season, but there he is.
And then a little bit further back, can't see him, is our other Australian in the field, Michael Caffrey, driving the 66 Mercedes. Not part of this group here, but having to hold off Jackson Detmer and John Casey. He's got his hands full too.
He does. There are a couple of good battles going on around here. Obviously, the Copeland and Moraes going on at the GT3 Pro field in the front there. And this middle pack is just really bunched up. Starting with Lucas, and of course you had the Schwenke chasing Thorman with Peyton and Jeff Brooks chasing him. So there's a couple of good battles going on.
And Lucas has been holding this field off now for, I think the first time we looked in on this battle area was somewhere around, I don't know what, like lap 4 or lap 5. And he's been doing a pretty decent job here, although, you know, Alex Brown worked his way around, but obviously here as we see, you know, Jacobs and Michael Brooks, obviously, who's had some issues, and Steiner just not able to find his way around the Porsche.
Yeah, we've had other people involved in this train. There was a Jackson Detmer involved in this train for a while. He's dropped down the order just a little bit now. So we kind of see who is able to stick with Lucas. He's being very consistent right now. And that consistency, you can tell anytime you've got Jeff Jacobs in your mirrors the whole time, you know, because he's one of the most consistent guys in this field. And I think that's what Lucas is trying to do, is stay as consistent as Jacobs. And the guys behind him, they're just trying to say, how do we get around these wide but consistent cars?
All right, Larry, it looks like Fernando Takahashi, who had the turn 1, lap 1 incident with Ben Rose has gotten back underway. He's left the pits now, and this actually, I believe, will be his second full lap here that he's running. Actually, he's working lap number 3 now. Both he and Aaron Beaver. I thought Beaver had managed to get past the pit lane, but no, Beaver is still trapped on the pit lane, it appears, and I think his night may be done.
No, Fernando's got, of course, the obligations to the WJM Motorsports and wants to get the name out there for the team for a little bit longer while we can this season and get a few more laps in around Sebring. I do like Sebring with all of its quirkiness and its bumps and changes and pavements and things. I like the track. I think it's great. I've done the 12-hour iRacing, the Sebring race the last couple of seasons. I think it's just a fantastic track for doing multi-class endurance racing, and I wouldn't turn the opportunity down either if I'm Fernando. It's like, hey, you know what? Turn 1, lap 1 may have been my demise, but I still got 40 more minutes to go and run around this place. May as well take the chance while I can.
All right, Jeff Brooks now in the 85 machine. He's worked his way up to David Payton. He's going to come down the front straight to a complete lap number 16. And Larry is... He's going to try and come underneath the...
He's going to give it a shot. Sometimes you can do that. If the one driver doesn't get a great turn in, you can duck to the inside. But in this case, it looks like Peyton is able to keep that position.
I was going to say, we're getting fairly close to the opening of the pit window here, Larry. For the GT3 cars, anticipated they'll probably open up right around the end of lap 17 going into lap 18, and we're on lap 17 now. And the GTP cars would have opened up right around the end of lap 18 going into lap 19, and our leaders, Petrowski, Rose, and Dibble, all working lap 20 at the moment. So let's do this as we're at the top of the hour. Let's quickly take a quick break, thanks to our partners and sponsors. And when we come back, hopefully we'll pick up the pit cycles, and we'll take you all the way to the checkered flag here at the season finale of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech World Challenge, presented by Performa Elite, MRA Advisory Group, and Buttkicker here on Apex Racing TV. We'll be right back.
Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. Whether you're just looking to have fun, train for race day, or become a serious esports competitor, Ricmotech has you covered. Hundreds of name brand parts. Support from experts that love sim racing. Trusted by the pros. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com.
The search is over. The most comprehensive league scoring solution is here, with the ability for multi-level championships, custom incident tracking, post-race time penalties, support for heats, drop weeks display, multi-car team scoring, advanced web widgets, rookie championships, a custom paint system, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today.
And welcome back to Sebring International Raceway, where you're watching round number 8, the season finale here of season number 8 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech World Challenge, presented by MRA Advisor Group, Performa Elite, and Buttkicker here on Apex Racing TV. I'm Greg Ginsburg, along with Larry Lefty McLeod. And Larry, of course, just as we went to break, the pit cycles had started. We saw Travis Schwenke come in almost immediately as we went to break. His teammate now, Robert Hartley, coming down the pit lane as well. And I think we've also got one of our GTP racers on the pit lane. That's Bobby Childs, who's been there for quite a while, so he might have
no, Bobby
doing more
just
than get fuel.
he came in. He's about 50 seconds in, but it is his second stop, so we'll keep our eyes on Bobby as Ryan Reisman now pits in from the 4th spot, as does David Steiner. We talked about him earlier. He was in that train with Michael Brooks, Jeff Jacobs, Lucas Dragotta. Steiner now into the pits for his stop.
And so we've got a message in here in the chat from Pan Hiraday asking if there's live timing available. And besides the timing that we have up on our timing tower on the left-hand side of the screen, I believe, unless that link is not working, I believe that there is a link that we just put in the chat for you that will take you to live timing, and that app, that when you go to that page, it says no live timing available. So we'll take a look at that and see what's going on. Thanks for letting us know, Pan. We appreciate it. So what we'll do is Larry and I will tell you as each and every person crosses the start-finish line. We'll let you know exactly what lap times they put in. They're leaving the pits now. That is Ryan Reisman in the 414 machine heading back out. Yeah, and Larry, I think Childs definitely they're taking on some additional repairs, or it might be the end of the night for him.
Let's hope they're repainting the car.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
All right.
Tanner Dibble now coming down the pit lane in the 963, the WJM Porsche, and the two D2D GT3 teammates of Thorman and Payton are
Jeff
in now.
Jacobs coming in as well. There he is, peeling away from his battle with Michael Brooks. So this is going to break everybody up for a lap or two while things get sorted out. I still don't see any sign yet of Leo Dragotta and Dre Divock, the front 2 runners in all of GT3. They have not yet pit. But this is Adam Rosso, one of our DNA entries. Still waiting for Petrowski and Rose, the front 2 runners in the GTPs, to come in for their stop.
All right, so there's Dragotta now, as he had just worked his way through Fangio, and he's heading up towards turn 10.
I think that's Phil Caffrey behind him in that red Ferrari, with the missing front nose from his incident on the opening lap that I believe he had with, was it Brockway in the other Ferrari?
Brockway, yeah.
Caffrey, of course, one of our Australians in the field. So we got 3 Australians, 2 Brazilians, and 2 Canadians in the field tonight. How festive. Look at that. These 2 Americans.
Santa's gonna have to. He's gonna have a big trip this winter to put stuff in all of our World Challenge driver stockings. I think, Larry.
It's a long run around. He's worked the whole night. But these guys in Australia, they'll get theirs first. But this battle's the Americans.
Which is good, because it'll unload Santa's sleigh after he drops off the front bumper for that.
Well, Michael Brooks right now just wants a small gift. Doesn't need much. Just needs to get 1 spot ahead of Lucas Dragotta. But Lucas right now doing a good job of coming off the end of the Le Mans curves onto the Ullman Straight, heading down towards Sunset. These 2 pretty evenly matched Porsches right now, though. As we've talked about, Lucas has been very consistent tonight to try and stay ahead of this field. Of the cars, seems like a ton of challengers keep coming up on him. But
and I thought he was going to be coming in for service, and instead he just took an inside line through Sunset and did a good job holding Brooks off there.
Yeah, good solid performance so far. I do believe in qualifying, Brooks, I think Dragotta did have the advantage in qualifying, but no, I take that back. I think Brooks may have had the advantage in qualifying, but through some incidents early in the race, got him in this position. But I'll tell you what, the delta between them looks like it's nothing. Jagoda's been very quick as this race is progressing. As we go back to the other battle, this is the battle of GT3 Pro. This is Ken Copeland in that Merc against Yago Mores in the Porsche. They're still like they were back when Mores yielded and let Copeland have the position. That has not changed as Phil Caffrey yields. Oh,
yeah,
no.
I was gonna say, speaking of yielding.
Now it's yielding hard. Yeah, Mores misjudged that one, ended up in the wall really hard. There goes his teammate, Jeff Brooks. Mores trying to find a clean piece of real estate to get back onto. Not going to do it there in front of.
Yeah, and he's in a spot where there's not a great amount of vision.
He's just going to call the toe.
Oh.
Wow, let's get a replay on that one. So you see the second car in this train. This is Mores. There is another car out in front of him, but that shouldn't mean much. Mores just gets wider and wider, tried to stay in the throttle, and it just didn't stick. That whole left-hand sweeper there.
He got over the apex curbing there, and Larry, once he got back on all four wheels on the asphalt, looked like the whole car just pushed wide. Just could not get the nose to bite.
Yeah, you got to get the front end to bite just right, or you got to be willing to back off. And I'm wondering if because he's in such a battle there with Copeland that he wasn't willing to back off. One more view of this replay is he's down and the push, and the car just wouldn't respond. Huh. That's unfortunate. Mores has been so fast tonight. On the pole tonight, and now looks like he is on the toe.
All right, coming down the pit lane now. Lucas Dragotta, he's going to pit in. So that's going to give some clearance to Michael Brooks for now. Alex Brown there in the gray Porsche just ahead as well, coming into the pit lane. And now Jackson Detmer in that BMW works his way in.
Still waiting on the Leo Dragotta, Dre Divock, Ken Copeland, Jeff Brooks to come in for their stops. But
and Larry Bailey Petrowski now on the pit lane from the lead.
All right, we'll keep our eye on him and see if this hands the lead over to Ben Rose, who definitely could use the bonus point for leading a lap. It may come down to that if he's able to pull this win out tonight. He should be going by soon. There he
Here
is.
We go, coming out of Sunset now. And
Oh,
he's going to come down the pit lane as well.
Wow, not going to take the chance. I guess the 26 laps is about as far as they're able to go. He's going to have to stop for fuel.
Yeah, indeed. We saw the pit window, Larry, as we mentioned earlier, opening up at around lap 18, lap 19, and pretty short, only running to lap 26. Yes, right at the end.
Yeah, Mulfield, the 91 car, came in right behind him. He's a lap down, but he came in right there as well, finishing his 24th lap.
And Larry, it looks like Yago Mores may have just called it a night. So
that's tough. That's tough for the whole the Wrong Stuff team, as he's been kind of the speed demon of that team and was really looking good tonight to try and get a win and play spoiler in the GT3 Pro field. Not going to happen tonight. Now it's going to come down to Copeland. Can he max his points in that field? As here comes Leo Dragotta, your race leader in all of GT3 and your leader in AM, and right behind him, that's the number 12 of Dre Divock. Here it is.
Yeah,
both
his shadow.
Contenders. Yep, there they are going to come in for fuel at the same time in the nearly identical Porsches. Let's see, did Dre do any fuel saving behind Leo?
And Larry, they were coming in right at the end of lap 21, which would have been right at the very end of their window. So again, both those drivers holding out to the very end, and we'll see here when they come out, and if they come out in traffic, and if that gives any kind of an advantage to either Dragotta or Divock. Dragotta had opened up about a 3-second advantage over Divock at one point, and we'll see if that can be closed down as Divock just now getting back underway and amount of time on the pit lane.
About a second. About a second and a half advantage to Dragotta there in the pit stop. So he extends now a little bit further. Also to note, Ken Copeland in the Mercedes did not pick that lap. He's going to try and squeeze one more out of his fuel load and get that one bonus point for leading a lap, assuming he hasn't accumulated max bonus points yet, but this could be an opportunity for him. Again, he comes into tonight 4th in the class, trying to make his way up to 2nd. He's only 6 points out. Rob Hartley was the guy, I believe, in 2nd. Schwenke was in 3rd. Schwenke's had his troubles. He's a couple spots back, but Hartley's also in the mix.
Larry, I'm trying to figure out what the reason for this is, but we're going to a full course caution here at Sebring. And we had somebody drive into the pit wall, but I'm trying to get word on which car it was. And it might have been Thorman. possibly.
I don't want to claim conspiracy, but boy, this is awfully NASCAR-like in our use of the yellow flags. Maybe we got a replay of this one? I think we're working on it.
Well, yeah.
Yes, here we go.
Oh, and there you go.
Oh, no, and that's
Oh, my
striking
gosh.
again. Right at pit out, and that's Thorman
Oh, and
in
Thorman.
the 60.
And they almost, and which wrong stuff car was that Thorman had just missed coming because he came down the pit lane? But that is going to
Possibly
certainly.
It could have been one of the Brooks, because I know he was in the same
Yeah.
mix with them. It could have been Michael Brooks, but we're going to have to wait and see how this all sorts out. But wow. Okay, so let's recap. As everybody gets their pit stops done, Copeland is the only one left to get one. Technically, the pit lane entrance is closed. If he's out of fuel, we'll see what they have to say about that. What this is going to do, full course caution, it's going to bring Bailey Petrowski back into the field with Ben Rose.
Ben Rose.
Rival right behind him. This couldn't get any more dramatic. I'm telling you, these stewards are straight out of NASCAR with their throwing this late full course yellow. This is exciting now. With what do we have left? About 25 minutes or so?
minutes.
Oh, this is intense.
All right, and right now, and we'll see, this is going to take a couple laps to figure out, but Larry, I believe what they are working to do is to get all of the GTP drivers clear of the GT3 racers, and so that they
Yeah, they're going to sort
they
this
are not
out.
backed up, but that is going to close things down. Ben Rose, who was on the lead lap and running second overall after that pit stop, he is going to be pulling up right behind Bailey Petrowski, and he's already there. Let's take another look at this incident.
Oh, yeah. Right in front of the
there's-
long stuff entry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's just intense. That's 83 of that's Michael Brooks coming out
Yeah,
of
it's
the pits
Michael
when that all
Brooks, yeah.
happened. So yeah, so we're going to close everything up, and we'll see if they can get this pit stop in for the last remaining one standing. That's Ken Copeland, who's got to get his pits in. They may have released him to go do that, as they've got now Bailey Petrowski, race leader, Ben Rose, Tanner Dibble, Ben's teammate, Ryan Reisman, also Ben's teammate, Adam Ross, also Ben's teammate, will be lined up right behind Bailey Petrowski, race leader. This is going to be fascinating. And then, of course, in the GT3s, it's going to have Ken Copeland, hopefully with a pit stop after he makes it, with Leo Dragota, Dre Divock, Hartley in that mix as well, because it's going to now put the battle for second place in GT3 Pro nearly nose to tail. It's going to put the battle for GT3 AM nose to tail, and it's going to put the battle for GTP nose to tail. Oh.
Well, we're gonna have to see what happens to Ken Copeland here, Larry, because the other piece of this is as our GT3 cars start to pack up and get very close to Ken Copeland, he's going to go from first. There's a good possibility in the GTs. He's going to go from first very far back in the field.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering how they're going to manage this, because no fault of his own. Sometimes you can time a pit stop.
No.
Sometimes you can poorly time it. He may have enough time to get in and get his fuel. Yep. Let's see if he has enough time to get the fuel and get out before the GT3 field arrives, and he can maintain that first position. Had we not had the yellow, he likely would have come out in third behind the Dragota and Dre Divock battle. Now we'll see if he's able to slip through and get to the lead, or worse, if he has to come in at the back of the pack of GT3s.
Well, that's what it's starting to look like now, Larry, is
Oh,
Copeland
boy.
now sitting all the way as the whole GT3 field is now coming down the front straight. And so Copeland now goes from leading now down to 10th or 11th. And, the question is, with Schwenke out, was going to be the question of where Robert Hartley is. Hartley is now your pro leader, and Hartley running third in the GT3s.
Wow, and Hartley again, he comes into tonight in that mix for a podium for a second place. Schwenke were 2 points apart, 4 points back was Copeland. So it's really anybody's game, but Hartley could be sitting in the catbird seat to take this position and finish second in this championship. Based on what's going on, we'll have to see if the stewards are going to do anything regarding the position then of what was the race leader, Ken Copeland, or if he's just going to be out of luck.
All right, and now they are going to be opening up the pit lane for all of the other cars, I think, beyond beyond Ken Copeland,
I think
Larry,
Copeland's
but
the only
I
one that
would
was
doubt
pending.
that. Yeah, I don't think any other drivers are going to need to take that
No,
that stop, as they all just fueled up within 2 laps.
He was doing everything he could to be the last car to come in for the pit stop, and he was doing that, and then they went and closed the pits on him, so he couldn't even come in while the field was grouping together. They made him wait until after it was assembled, and here we are.
Oh my, oh my.
Yeah.
So there you go. There is Robert Hartley. He is your new GT3 Pro leader, running 3rd out of all of our GT cars, because Leo Dragota still your leader there. So we'll quickly run it down here as our timing tower goes and splits them up still between Pro and Am. It is Dragota and then Divock, both in Am. Then Hartley and Payton, both in Pro. Then Brooks and Brown in Am, so they are running 3rd and 4th in Am. Then Brooks. Jeff Jacobs is Jeff Brooks, pardon me, in the 85 machine. Then Jeff Jacobs currently running 3rd in Pro, with Michael Brooks running 4th in Pro. And then Lucas Dragota, Michael Caffrey, David Steiner, so the 2 Australians there. Then Jackson Detmer, Ken Copeland, now sitting back 19th overall, which would put him 13th in GT3.
Well, this will be interesting because right now they've got, so if you look at this running order, Petrowski, Rose, Dibble, Reisman, and
Larry,
Ross.
it sounds like we're probably going to be going back to green flag racing this next time by.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at the train of cars out in front. You got some GTPs, and you've got a whole string of GT3s, and then you got more GTPs. I'm surprised they're not pulling the second pack of GT3s up to, or let the GT3s go on through. But they're going to let it go for now.
No, it looks like we're going to get one more. Going to get at least one more lap here under full course caution.
Right. And in case you're wondering, they are still reviewing the incident that caused all this between Chris Thorman and Travis Schwenke, and that was the 3rd piece of contact for Schwenke here tonight. Yeah. He was given a pass in the first 2. This one, I'm not sure it was his fault.
From looking at it, I don't know if we could pin that.
Take a look at that right there. Is you've got that that Ferrari in the mix there. I'm trying to see who that Ferrari is.
It has a nose. It has a nose
Brockway?
cone. That's Brockway.
It is
yes.
Brockway. He's in the mix of all these GTPs, and I'm surprised the stewards haven't moved him. Either release him and let him go catch up to the back of the GT3s, but
they're actually just now, I think, giving him they're giving the GTP cars the command to move ahead of him.
Okay. So will that put him then at the front of the GT3 field, just ahead of Lucas?
Well,
just ahead of the others.
There is also looks like I think it's Philip Caffrey that's ahead of Leo as well.
So what I'm surprised they didn't do is to release Caffrey and to release and let them go around and catch the back of the GT3s instead of.
Okay, so now Larry, it sounds as though Brockway, Brist, and Caffrey are going to get wave arounds around the GTPs.
Okay, that makes more sense.
To then head all the way back around.
Now, just in case you're wondering, Ken Copeland is back somewhere around, I don't know, his 5th in Pro, but he's more about 15th.
19th overall will put him 13th out of all the GT3 cars.
Yeah, that's just bad luck, but that is, and he's in that contention for a podium championship spot. Now, he is ahead of Travis Schwenke, who I believe is on the track. But Hartley, there you can see in the middle of your screen, he's the one right now with the best opportunity to collect big points as the leader in GT3 Pro to try and finish second in that championship.
Yeah, Travis is not on track, Larry.
Okay. So many cars out tonight, it was losing track.
Yeah. All right, so now we will be going back to green flag racing this next time by.
All right, they're going to let everybody race when the green flag flies. With the, of course, GTPs being the lead pack. I think that what that means is as soon as the GTPs get a green, they might be also releasing the GT3s.
I think they are also releasing the GT3 cars, yes.
Yeah, which would make sense in this scenario. It's not a staggered restart. It's a full course back to green at the same time. And there you can see Leo Dragota back in the field up a little bit.
So much so that it almost looks like a double file start.
Oh, just about. Certainly.
And not only that,
Brooks.
Larry, but at least according to my timing and scoring, I think there might have been some contact between some of those cars.
Well, Michael Brooks is alongside of Jeff Jacobs back there as the GTPs run away. Now, Ben Rose has been given a gift. A Christmas came early for Ben Rose here. He's got an opportunity to take the fight directly to Petrowski. He just can't miss an apex for the next 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Can he do it?
All right, so here we go. We're going to take you all the way to the checkered flag here at Sebring as we are back underway, and we are green. And this is also Dre Divok's chance, Larry, as they came into the championship separated by only a handful of points as well. And Divok runs a little bit wide coming out of turn 3 here on the restart. Doesn't lose a lot of ground, though, to Dragoda, and Divok's going to have to worry about that pro battle directly behind him. We've got Hartley and Peyton looking to get by as well.
Oh no, so Dibble now gets around the teammate Rose. Rose have an issue here. This is his opportunity. He's got to seize it, but teammate Dibble has now gotten around him, so Rose has to work that back. He's got to get up close. He's got to chase Petrowski.
And I don't know what led to that there with Ben Rose losing the position there, but yeah, that's going to make things definitely more difficult. And we also saw, and Rose just now gets back around Dibble, by the way, here as we're watching this battle for the lead in GT3 AM. And again, Dre Divok all over the back of Dragoda. He was also, I think, given a pretty good gift there, Larry, because he had been a couple seconds back from the 118 machine going into that full course caution.
He did. That would have been tough work to catch back up. We had just seen him come out of the pits a little slower even than the pit stop from Dragoda. But here you go. Good opportunity for Dre and the wrong stuff to try and steal the championship away from the young Dragoda here. Can he put this together? Then you've got the elder of Rob Hartley in here trying to chase down the youth of Leo Dragoda out there as well. Hartley not in the battle of the two in front, but you know, GT3 awards points unfinished, doesn't matter which class you win. He wants to maximize his finishing order here in this race.
That's right, and so Hartley came into tonight's
race.
Oh no,
and then they spin!
Oh my!
That's Dragoda and Divok.
It's Dragoda, Divok, and also Hartley.
And there goes Copeland inside of the whole mess of them. This is crazy.
All right, and Larry, as that happened,
we're going to need a replay.
Yeah, we're definitely going to need a replay of this as we just got word that Chris Thorman was assigned a penalty
we'll get
for
to
that
in
incident with Schwenke. Yeah, we'll get back to that in a second. Let's take a look as they come in the sunset.
Oh, no.
And Dragoda runs wide. Oh, my gosh. And Dre Divok gets into his main challenge here in the championship. Robert Hartley with nowhere left to go. And that is now going to put David Payton in the lead. He leads GT3 Pro and the rest of the GT3 field. Jeff Brooks is your new leader in AM with Alex Brown running second. Michael Brooks, Larry, is now running second in Pro with Jeff Jacobs third.
So let me get this straight. We had a race for almost an hour with Leo Dragoda, Dre Divok, you had Yago Mores, you had Travis Schwenke, you had Rob Hartley, you had Ken Copeland. None of them are running in the top 7 right now, as it's Peyton, Brooks, Brown, the other Brooks, Jacobs, Caffrey. This is crazy. One more look at this as Divok comes in hot, a little bit too hot. Yeah, let's see if the stewards have to give him a penalty there. Hartley just had nowhere to go. Avoiding the contact. But boy, I tell you, that was an intense moment right there. But this guy, David Payton's got to be loving this opportunity. He came into tonight, I want to say he might have been 5th in points.
I'm pulling it up right now, Larry.
He was 9th in points.
9th in the championship, yes,
his best
exactly.
finish, he had 2 finishes. He had 6th place. I want to say he was that at Monza. He was 6th, and he had a 6th at round 2. I don't even remember where that was. As look at this, Copeland now pushing Lucas Dragoda down the back straight.
So Copeland right now is sitting 4th in Pro.
Ahead of
and looks like 9th in of all the GT3 cars.
And he's coming in. What is this? Did he not take enough fuel? I don't know. I don't understand.
We might need to check on this because he may be serving a penalty for coming down the pit lane because he came down the pit lane while the pits were closed.
Oh, I thought he came down when it was open, but wow.
There
So
you
there's
go. It's a drive-through penalty for Ken Copeland, and we'll have to get verification on this.
Take that back. No, it's not for that. Let me go back. There was an incident between Copeland and Robert Brist earlier. That is being assigned the drive-through penalty.
Oh.
There was also then, as you just mentioned, the Dre Divock penalty was just assessed. He's got a drive-through coming to him, and so that's what's going on. Both of them involving car contact incidents, which is just interesting considering how much contact we've had tonight. And finally, the drive-throughs are starting to come through.
Yeah. Well, I think also we saw, Larry, with some of the incidents early on, is that some of those early incidents, the drivers that were most affected were the ones who actually probably had incident responsibility. So it was almost they received the penalty for taking the incident as it was. But we'll take a look here as we're now watching Alex Brown, who is now sitting second in pro, or probably second in AM, and Brown, and of course a big field here. Brown came into the evening sitting fourth in the championship, 7 points back from the 85 car Jeff Brooks, and so Brooks and Brown.
Brooks is up in second spot. Yeah, and he's second overall in the race, leading AM. Remember, points are awarded based on your overall position in GT3, but winning your class means you're blocking everybody else. This is going to be a great result if the position holds for Jeff Brooks, but we are, as we're seeing, a long way away from checkered flag in this thing. Who knows what could happen?
Yeah, suddenly another 15 minutes seems so far away.
We're not kidding.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, where were we 15 minutes ago? We hadn't seen any of this. Now we've got 3 drive-throughs. We've got a full course. Yellow pit stops are happening. This is just crazy.
Oh my gosh. And Jackson Detmer making a pass there on Lucas Dragotta. That is for 5th in
It's not
AM.
done yet.
Lucas coming back.
Yeah, Lucas now on the inside as they head down to turn 4. Let's see if he can hold it. He does. Side by side. Now they're going to head all the way around to the hairpin, but Lucas in the Porsche might have gotten that power down just a little bit better.
And he gets around. So as I say, then he gets hung out to dry going into the hairpin, but he made the stop, or made the move, as Detmer tries to come underneath him under braking.
He does. And he gets him in that contact, and Lucas now is going to push him all the way to the wall. Detmer is into the wall in front of Dragotta.
Oh my gosh.
Cow.
Now that is Lucas Dragotta. That is the 119 machine. Finished 3rd 2 weeks ago at Sebring, and coming into the evening, oh my gosh, Lucas had been sitting 7th in the championship, only 6 points back from Chuck Labano, who's not here this evening. And then Alex Brown ahead.
Detmer, who was 5th coming into tonight in the M class, now drops down a couple more spots down the order. Again, this is getting crazy, but here's David Payton. Jeff Brooks isn't going anywhere. Brooks, your AM leader, right behind him. Don't be confused. There's a GT3 Pro standing show. Payton and Brooks, that's Michael Brooks. GT3 AM leader is Jeff Brooks. That's the one. This is the other Jeff. Jeff Jacobs doing donuts over here.
Oh my,
Zanardi donuts off in the distance. I don't know what if he thought the race was.
That's by Le Mans, it looks like. And he's got Ken Copeland coming. Who got our leader?
Goodness.
Actually, Copeland's not our leader anymore. Let's take a look and see what happened here going into Le Mans, and it looks like this might have been self-inflicted, Larry.
All by himself.
Yeah.
It's a lonely spin when you do that, and you got to find your safe place to get back on the track. As the stewards are taking a look, by the way, at the Lucas Dragotta and Jackson Detmer incident. As Jacobs finding how quickly he can get this thing into reverse, and first he's back underway now, right in front of Tanner Dibble in the 963 down the front straight. Oof.
Good point out now. Petrowski now, Larry, opening up as the 2 Dragottas going into to turn 3 side by side. There is Leo, who was our prior leader, gets around teammate Lucas.
All right.
And here, Petrowski with only about I'd say only about a 2-second advantage. And I say only given that he had opened up about a 20-second advantage early on in this race.
Well, Rose had dropped back a little bit. Remember, he was behind Dibble for a little bit. Rose now ahead of Dibble, trying to make his way through the same traffic that we just saw Petrowski doing. So there goes Rose, now within 2.5 seconds as he makes his way around Russ Reddick. In fact, there also had seen a 78 of John Casey in that pack. A couple guys we haven't seen or mentioned yet tonight. They are out here, they are running, and they're watching these GTP battle right before the rise as Rose is closing in on Petrowski thanks to some traffic, but he'll take it any way he can. 2.5 separating our championship contenders. That's Lucas Dragotta trying to stay out of the way now of Ben Rose. Try to get to the inside of Leo Dragotta before the S's. He does. In and through Lamont, trying to get onto the Ulman straight with some speed and take his run to Petrowski. 8 minutes to go. It's crazy.
Oh, the drama.
It is.
Or as I think it's Anna Brooks in the chat, embrace the chaos. She says.
Get her in the
spot
booth.
on.
Get her up here. She's got it. She's nailed it, I think. Oh, this is absolutely chaos. Never would have thought our 8-event season would have ended on a night like this, but here we are.
Oh my gosh, and here we go as we're watching now Jeff Brooks, who's our AM leader, all over the back of David Payton, our pro leader, as they are coming up. I think that's one of the Caffrey cars directly ahead.
Yeah, the 61 of Phil Caffrey. Oh. Just watching the 64 of Payton, just trying to catch as much draft as he can, catch a little bit of dirt there on the inside, trying to follow Caffrey through. Caffrey now going to get out of the way.
Well, I was just saying, the last time we saw Caffrey do that, Yago Mores went to the wall, actually right here. So,
so if you're driving a wrong stuff Porsche, now is not the time to lose control. Might want to just hang on to it.
Yes, thank you, Jeff Brooks, for not emulating your teammate. All right, let's take a look here as Hartley now coming up on Michael Caffrey in the 66 Mercedes. So Hartley running now, had been leading AM as we went into the full course caution, and as we came out, of course, had that incident at 17. He is currently a third place runner in pro, right behind Michael Caffrey, who is running fourth in AM. And you can see there's a bit of a gap to the next cars ahead, as Caffrey, no doubt, would love to be up there battling with his Australian teammate, but there you go. Robert Hartley works his way by, and it is trying to take a look here, about 3/4 of a second from Hartley up to Steiner ahead, probably up to Alex Brown, Michael Brooks, pardon me, ahead. Sorry.
Well, that's Alex Brown right there, with the battle ahead of Michael Brooks and David Steiner right behind him. Looking back now, we're going to, of course, see the Rose, Reisman, and maybe Maltfield GTPs coming through their shot here just in a minute. There they are. That's not Rose. I think it's Ross, Reisman, and Maltfield.
And it's starting to look awfully congested.
Or is that
right
Takahashi?
there, Larry.
Forgot about Fernando. That actually might be the 23 of Takahashi in that shot. Yes, it is. Yeah, let's keep our camera on this one for a minute, shall we, John?
Oh.
Look at Brown trying to just stay out of it.
And look at that as the 83 machine of Michael Brooks runs wide.
Hang on to it, Anna. He's involved in close ones again.
Let's jump on board with Michael Brooks here in the 83 wrong stuff Porsche.
As Reisman, Ross and Takahashi and Reisman all go on by, and oh boy, Michael avoiding near certain death, keeping the car alive for yet another corner. Unbelievable job, great reflexes for Michael Brooks.
So he took to the grass driver's left, as Alex Brown was all over the back of the GTP car ahead, and did everything that he could to keep them from spinning like tops on the braking there. Oh my gosh. Well,
I guess no one needs to go to the test next week. Everyone's been in for their checkup. They all checked up. You see what I did? You see what I did?
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Just let that linger. Just other knowledge. All right. So Alex Brown, just in that battle. I can't believe this battle hasn't gone anywhere. These are the two guys that just about had their races ended about a lap and a half ago. Now are still in this thing. One in pro, one in AM. And Steiner out of AM trying to get around both of them.
All right, so Larry, and also as we've got about 4 minutes remaining now, Bailey Petrowski now starting to open things up a little bit more over Ben Rose. running about a half second or so a lap faster at this
Look at
point.
Steiner to the inside of Brooks. The BMW trying to have the advantage on the Porsche, but Brooks holds his ground. Beautiful job there for both drivers. Amazingly, no contact on that one. Everyone's still trying to gather it up, but no contact. That's a good thing. Oh, 3 minutes. What can happen in 3 minutes, Greg? Really, what can happen?
Nothing at all.
All right, quick recap. Petrowski over Rose, 3.6 seconds.
Yes.
Peyton leads Jeff Brooks, the two leaders in Pro and Am, just about 70 thousandths between them. It's 8 seconds, though, between Michael Brooks, who's was in that battle right there, and he's the one actually trying to chase Peyton, but Peyton right now is the GT3 overall leader.
Yeah, and you can see there as they're just now, as they were just coming through the through turn 7 there, quite a bit further back.
Now, Rob Hartley, currently third, though, is about 2.5 seconds from catching the Steiner and Brooks battle. It's going to take a lot in 3 minutes to catch that, but you never know with this guy what he can pull out at the last minute. Right now, he's in position for a podium in this race and potentially a podium in the championship with his teammate Mike Dam. Pretty much got it locked up with who will finish second, third, and fourth. We'll find out in about 3 minutes. Or, you know, add some numbers up, maybe 5 minutes.
5 minutes or so, yeah.
I don't know who's doing points. Kevin Ford's not available tonight. Somebody better get on their abacus quick. All right, speaking of Ken Copeland in that battle for a podium spot, he's just ahead of the 78 of John Casey. Copeland still trying to get to the field after that bummer of a timing. If that full course caution came out 1 lap later, I think we'd have a very different result for Ken Copeland. Jeff Brooks wants this. Jeff Brooks wants the overall. Look at they trying to make a move on the inside of Peyton. Not there. Minute and a half until the clock strikes midnight, and then we'll see who's in the lead. Let's get...
We're getting close. You know what they say, Larry? It's midnight somewhere.
It is. Not in Australia right now. It's maybe it's more like noon in Australia, but yes, more like Newfoundland or maybe Greenland somewhere. It's at midnight. I don't think we have anybody in the league from Greenland yet. Let's work on that. Get some recruits on the ground there. But David Peyton has just, we talked about at the beginning of this thing, you had to be aggressive to try and move up the field tonight, but turns out too much aggression may have cost a lot of drivers their nights. Copeland
Larry
is involved in another one.
Another incident coming out of turn 3. And that is going to drop him further back as Bailey Petrowski crosses the line. He starts his 40th and final lap here at Sebring International Raceway on his way to the Season 8 championship. As we jump back over to GT3 as David Peyton continues to hold off Brooks.
These guys have a lap and a half to go. We know they're going to see a white flag when they come by the next time. Jeff Brooks is going to be aggressive here. I know he could win the AM class by coasting it in, but he looks like he can just taste an overall GT3 win, and he's going to push David Peyton for the next, what is this place, 4 miles around or so?
3 3/4.
Plus an extra sunset curve to boot, and I think we're going to see a heck of a battle brewing.
All right, and here they go. Oh, and we see Peyton get real loose through the final quarter. That might be enough. And here we go. Last lap for our GT3 racers now as David Peyton currently leads Pro. Jeff Brooks leads AM as they come down. And here we go. Here's that fight between Alex Brown and Michael Brooks for the last step.
Oh no, look at this. Anna can't watch. There's Brooks battles all over the place. As the battle for the overall win in GT3 is going to come down to Jeff Brooks and David Peyton, both in different classes, but they both want the win. And of course, Michael Brooks and Alex Brown, not too far behind them, are in their own battle, but we got to watch this one.
Yeah, Peyton's sticking all the way to the inside. He knows what the stakes are.
This is a setup move. Yep. That's a setup move as we've got our winner. Billy Petrowski is going to win the race and win the championship in GTP.
Right. All right, so let's move over and take a look. And Larry, Peyton is getting very loose. The rear end of that Ferrari does not look happy. It hasn't looked very good for the last 2 laps. And now pulling up alongside briefly is Jeff Brooks. We'll see what he can do as they come down over
Jeff is trying to push Peyton into bad exits everywhere. Peyton isn't really biting on him. He's been able to get good exits and hold his position, but we've got one more series of kinks. We've got the Le Mans S's and one more straightaway until we sunset this race this season through the sunset curve. Can Jeff Brooks find one more pass?
All right, well, as they come onto the Ullman Straight here, Larry, out of Le Mans, Bailey Petrowski, as we said, took the win in GTP. Ben Rose finishes second here tonight at Sebring and in the championship. Tanner Dibble will take the last step on the podium with Ryan Reisman finishing in fourth. Now let's jump back to GT3 action as they're coming down the long back straightaway here at Sebring for the very last time, and this is going to be Jeff Brooks' last chance to get around the Ferrari. Can he do it? He's not going to get it done, and taking the win here in GT3 and GT3 Pro from D2D Sim Racing, it's David Payton. Jeff Brooks from the Wrong Stuff will take the win in GT3 AM, and now we've got the battle for third here in GT3. Alex Brown will come across the line third in GT3, finishes second in AM. Michael Brooks, great recovery for him tonight as he finishes second in Pro, ahead of Robert Hartley, who will finish third in Pro, with David Steiner finishing third in AM.
Oh, that was intense. Peyton
Oh my gosh.
nailed those last two corner exits. He killed it coming on to the Ullman Straight the last time. There was no fight from Jeff Brooks because Peyton did what he had to do, but this guy, start to finish, even with a bit of a yellow to scare him, Bailey Petrowski takes this championship all his own. Ben Rose did a fantastic job all season. Is going to come home in second. What a great battle between those two guys. And what a race among the GT3s. All that chaos. Yes, Anna, we're embracing the chaos. David Payton is able to come out of the dust in the Ferrari in the D2D entry and take a win. So is D2D's winning in GTP? Is the D2D winning in GT3 Pro? But in GT3 AM, it's at the Wrong Stuff taking the win. Jeff Brooks, what a night.
What a night. All right, so Larry, let's take a quick little break. When we come back, we'll talk to hopefully some of our podium finishers and season champions. And of course, we're going to be giving away that Buttkicker prize pack to one lucky driver here in the World Challenge. So stick around. We'll be back here in just a few moments, where you've just seen the Season 8 finale of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech World Challenge, presented by MRA Advisor Group, Performa Elite, and Buttkicker here on Apex Racing TV.
Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. Whether you're just looking to have fun, train for race day, or become a serious esports competitor, Ricmotech has you covered. Hundreds of name-brand parts. Support from experts that love sim racing. Trusted by the pros. There's only one place to go, ricmotech.com.
The search is over. The most comprehensive league scoring solution is here, with the ability for multi-level championships, custom incident tracking, post-race time penalties, support for heats, drop weeks display, multi-car team scoring, advanced web widgets, rookie championships, a custom paint system, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today.
And welcome back to Sebring International Raceway, where all of our Ricmotech World Challenge drivers presented by Performa Elite MRA Advisory Group and Buttkicker are now lining up on the front straight for their photo op. But Larry, let's take a look at the race results here. Once again, we'll recap them. In GTP, Bailey Petrowski taking the win. Final margin a little bit over 5 seconds over Ben Rose. That was also the fight for the championship. So Bailey Petrowski, your GTP champion. We'll talk to him in just a few moments. In GT3, David Payton taking the win for D2D Sim Racing, with Michael Brooks finishing second, Robert Hartley finishing third. Unfortunately, we won't have Mike Dam here, who's our GT3 Pro Champion. We'll talk to David Payton, who won on track, here in just a few moments. And then in GT3 AM, Jeff Brooks from The Wrong Stuff taking the win tonight. And we'll talk to him and hopefully have Leo Dragota, our GT3 AM champion, to talk to as well. And taking a look here, Larry, we've got Bailey Petrowski sitting in the green room. Why don't we talk to him first? Bailey Petrowski from D2D Sim Racing taking your win tonight here at Sebring and the Season 8 Championship.
1 second, let's fix that. Get
Oh,
Bailey
I
in
got
here.
Ben Rose by mistake, didn't I? I thought I had Bailey. Let's try it again. There we go.
All right, so joining us now is your overall race winner, and we're pretty sure without doing the numbers, I don't think we need to, your champion in GTP, Bailey Petrowski. How's that feel?
Oh, it feels so good. I was so nervous after that safety car. You have no idea. I was so anxious. Yeah, it's just, this is amazing. I was hoping it would happen, but it's still crazy for it to actually happen.
Yeah, when that yellow came out, the first thing we all thought was, oh no, opportunity for Ben Rose, and this is tough for Bailey. But you responded. You just took off and you just held that lead. You had to be staring at that relative screen though, weren't you?
Yeah, just a little bit. I kept seeing it drop, and I was struggling with traffic, and I think I was just misreading traffic because of the nerves, but I saw it go from 3 to 2 to 1 to less than a second, and then I was like, then we got to the end of traffic. It's like, oh, thank God, I can just go. And I was just telling myself to run the whole time.
Unbelievable. Have the last 2 weeks has been nerve-wracking for you? I mean, you got the win at Red Bull Ring, but you still know you needed the win here to do it. Did that put the pressure on and just sleepless nights?
Oh, absolutely. I honestly, after Monza, I considered myself to be out of the championship since I pretty much got last place that race. So I was surprised to hear, I wasn't paying attention to points. I was surprised to hear after last race I was tied. And it's like, oh, I'm still in this. So yeah, all of today, it was just trying to keep my mind off of it, trying to stay focused and just not get too distracted by everything.
Yeah, tonight, this last 75 minutes, there's a lot to be distracted by. There's a lot going on out there tonight, way more activity in the GT3s, but what that does is seem to put chaos just in front of you guys constantly. I mean, you'd never come up on one GT3 car. It seems like you'd come up on 4 of them and they'd be side by side all night.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how it was last race as well, I feel. But yeah, it was very competitive with all the GT3 and a lot of battling. So every time you had to really choose where you made your move carefully and made sure you get by as quickly as possible. Otherwise, you get in their way or creates these really awkward situations. I feel like I handled it pretty well, at least towards the beginning of the race. But yeah, it's so tough when it's a pack of cars trying to pass them. It's just, you kind of throw all of your kind of rules in the window of where you should and shouldn't pass, and you just have to sometimes pray you make it through the corner alive.
Yeah, all that chaos, you just kept the nerves calm, you got your way through, and you come away as champion. It's one of those things, you work to it all. What does this mean to you, though, to be a champion in this series? I've been watching, I know how difficult the competition can be, but tell the folks listening how hard it is to win this and how much it means to come away victorious.
Oh, yeah, it honestly means so much to be here. Like a year ago, I felt like I was so slow in racing, and it's been a whole year process to try and get quicker and quicker. And even just for this weekend, practicing for this race, trying to practice whenever I could after having a full-time job and just squeezing in whatever practice I can get. And just, yeah, there's so much to learn and try and get good at with racing, and so many things that you have no control over. So it makes it extremely difficult to learn and be really good at. But
well, you did it.
yeah.
You climbed that mountain. You are at the top. You are the champion of the GTP class. But I know you don't do this alone. I'm sure you got some folks you want to thank.
Yeah, I want to thank D2D so much for allowing me to join their team for the season and giving me that opportunity, and to win the championship while also being part of the team means a lot as well. And I want to also congratulate David for his win this race as well. But yeah, I want to thank friends and family. I want to thank all of our sponsors for supporting this series. I want to thank you guys for commentating on these races. I want to thank all the other drivers for participating in the series and all the people watching and who will be watching in the future.
And that's absolutely, hopefully we'll see you back in the next season, because this is just too much fun. It's been a great pleasure to be able to watch you to win, and the excellence you put out there each week has just been amazing. So soak this one up, enjoy it, go pop a little bubbly and celebrate. You are champion of GTP, Bailey Petrowski. Congrats.
Thank you so much, everyone.
All right, there you go. Congratulations to Bailey Petrowski from D2D Sim Racing, your Season 8 GTP champion. All right, let's now go over to Larry David Payton. David was our GT3 Pro winner tonight here at Sebring International Raceway.
All right, David Payton. David, you come into tonight. I got to ask you the real question. Did you think you had a shot to win this race tonight?
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
it definitely appears that way. And I tell you, if an hour ago, halfway through that race, if I would have asked you if you had a chance to win this race, what would you have said?
No way. I would have been happy with a top 5. You know, I don't think I was going to even get that until all the mayhem happened.
Oh,
yeah, what a great race.
Absolute mayhem, chaos. It seemed all over the place. And from this giant dust cloud in Central Florida emerges this D2D Ferrari. And there you are. And in the battle with the AM leader, Jeff Brooks, that went right down to the last 2 corners. Unbelievable how well you two raced, considering all the contact we watched everyone else do. You guys just had a great battle right up to the end.
Jeff did an amazing job. Kudos to him. Yeah, we're in different classes, but you know, it's bragging rights to who's going to win. So
Sure.
He was pushing, and I didn't want to let him by. But yeah, great job, Jeff. Thanks very much for racing me clean, Jeff.
Yeah, unbelievable. It was so much fun to watch it come right down to the end. You nailed the entry onto the Ullman Straight, and you nailed the Sunset Curve on that last lap to lock that one in and to take home this victory. And if I look down the result, I want to say your highest finish this season was it 6th?
Yeah,
I think might have been your highest
right.
this season.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yep.
Unbelievable to get it done here, to keep yourself in the mix and let the chaos kind of dissipate and get yourself out to the front. Unbelievable drive for you and this D2D Sim Ferrari. But I know you don't get there alone, or you got a pretty good team with you. You probably want to give a bit of a shout out here.
Yeah, kudos to D2D. What a great bunch of guys. Congratulations to Bailey for pulling the win off tonight. And yeah, and I think he won the championship too. So congratulations to him. Yeah, I'd like to thank Ricmotech for the series. Frank at Ricmotech there. Pro former elite, Chris Thorman. Thank you very much, Chris, my good buddy. And you guys at Apex Racing TV, thank you very much for putting on a great broadcast, and I wish you all a Merry Christmas and all the best for the new year. Thank you very much.
Well, David, congrats. A great win here tonight. A great win for the D2D team. You guys just had a pretty good season. I can't wait to see what's in store the next time out.
Thank you very much, guys.
All right, everybody, that's David Payton. Larry, real quick, and we'll run down the GT3 Pro point standings here in a moment. Let's circle back quickly to GTP, where Bailey Petrowski, as we mentioned, took the win. And even with all of that drama tonight, only 4 points separated those two drivers. Yeah. 453 to 449 points. Ryan Reisman finished 3rd in the championship. In GT3 Pro, we just again talked to our winner tonight, David Payton, but Mike Dam takes the championship in GT3 Pro by a margin of 16 points over his teammate Robert Hartley. Ken Copeland moves up to 3rd in the championship. and he finished 19 points back from Hartley. And Schwenke with that unfortunate, it was just a poor outing for Travis, and he finishes 4th in the championship, having come into the evening, I think 2nd in the championship.
I just want to say a good shout out here to Ken Copeland. He did drive very well tonight, had himself in a position to win this thing. A little bit of bad luck there with the way the timing came out of that full course caution, and then some incidents later on, but good drive for him ending up on the podium. So the overall championship was a pretty good run here. Had been real fast the last few rounds.
Absolutely. All right, so Larry, let's move over now to GT3 Pro, and we're going to bring in, I've got so many Brookses sitting in the green room right now. I want to make sure I bring in the right one. We're going to bring in Jeff Brooks, driver of the number 85 Wrong Stuff Porsche, your winner tonight in GT3 AM.
All right, Jeff. Each week with the whole Wrong Stuff team, but particularly you and Michael seem to have some of the worst luck. You guys get into the wrecks that just aren't your fault, and things just don't quite work out. And tonight, all the wrecks seem to be going on, and when all the dust clears, you find yourself on the tail of the overall GT3 leader and in the GT3 AM lead. Anna was going nuts in the chat. I can't imagine what your mind was going through in those last couple laps as you're trying to take that win. How exciting was that as that race was winding it down?
It was great. I wanted to take Patton down. I did. He didn't leave me a lot of room, but I was trying to shoot the gaps where I could. And I was trying to do it safely because, like you mentioned, I was getting in accidents earlier in the season. So I didn't want it to go the same way this race. So I was backing out a little bit because, it wasn't all bad luck, I would say. I put the blame on myself for most of those that I was in earlier in the season. Just need to drive more consistently and safely. Give people a little bit more space. So that's what I tried to do this race, and it ended up working out.
It definitely did. You got yourself in a position once the dust cleared, and there was a lot of dust tonight. It seemed all the accidents were just happening all around, but tonight you managed to keep it clean. How big a challenge was that tonight? What was in the air, in the water tonight that everybody else seemed to be getting in all these major wrecks?
I don't know. I think that part was probably a bit of luck. I was coming out of the pits and nearly got hit by that big accident that caused that full course yellow there. So, I think last race of the season, a lot of people are pushing hard, trying to get that position, trying to, just push as hard as they can with the last race. So I think people are probably letting it hang out there a bit more than normal maybe. And Sebring's just a really fun track to drive fast on. So you really want to get ahead of the guy and get into clean air.
Yeah, it is an amazing track to drive, and here at the end of the season, it's always one of the goals to finish on top, and tonight you did just that. You finished on top of the AM, and it was a great battle with you and Peyton right down there to the end for the overall GT3. Hats off to you guys, and a great way to wrap up the race and to wrap up the season. And for you, getting that first win here has got to feel pretty good, but I know you've got a team and a family behind you that you probably want to give a little mention to.
Oh yeah, they're always watching, getting excited. I was watching Mike last season, and I know what that's like. It's fun, a lot of fun. So, to my family, to my mom, dad, Anna, Mike, I love you guys.
Yeah,
and
awesome.
Shout out to Wrong Stuff Racing, Dre. They've been awesome as well. I really appreciate being able to drive with them.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid team that the Wrong Stuff's put together, always in the mix in every one of the classes. It's been great to watch, and I'm hoping you'll be back next season with the whole family. And I don't know, one of these days, after reading all Anna's comments, maybe we need to get her in here as well to the commentary booth. But for you can celebrate a victory here tonight in GT3 AM. Congrats, Jeff.
Thank you so much, guys. Bye.
All right, thanks so much to Jeff Brooks, and I figured if I'd...
I think Greg just took himself out of the chat. We'll get him back in here in a second. I do think we wanted to take one more. We want to interview our champion at GT3 AM for the season to go ahead and bring in Leo Jagoda. All right, so we've got in here our champion for the season. Had a great race going tonight but we'll talk about that in a minute. Leo Jagoda, awesome race for you until that. But I'll tell you what, overall, a great season for you in the Dragon Sport Racing. How are you feeling right now? You are champion at GT3 AM.
It's really special. I mean, this is such a competitive series. And to win it in here is...
Leo Dragoda.
Oh, I got him, Greg.
All right. Wow, he came out of nowhere.
Sorry, Leo. Go ahead. Leo, you still there? There you go.
Yep. Yeah, this is such a competitive series. This one means so much, and I got a really good start off that jump, and I was able to pull ahead in the first part of the stint. And then we got that full course yellow, and yeah, that kind of brought the gap down. But I was excited to battle with Dre for the final spot for the championship. But then we had a little incident, but.
Yeah, it was tough to watch at the end, knowing it was kind of all sort of fading away for the night. But your chief rival was having similar issues once that full course caution came out, and it just kind of ended in a bit of chaos at the end. But you end up with the championship, and I know that that's got to mean a little something for you. I know that was definitely one of your goals leading into the season, to come out here on top in the points series. How you feeling? How's that feel to be champion here in GT3M?
It just feels amazing. I mean, like the progression from at the beginning of the year, fighting for like last place or maybe a top 10 to fighting for overall lead is just amazing. I couldn't do it though without some of the people that helped me, and thank you for that.
Yeah, go ahead. Who you got to give some shout outs to?
Definitely Lucas. He's been doing this with me for ever since. Jeff Jacobs, he helps me with strategy a lot. Ken Copeland. We do laps together a lot. We just help each other find time. You guys for this awesome stream for both series, and it's just always great stream to watch after the race. My parents for supporting me. Everybody at this league. This league is amazing. One of the best out there, if not the best, and I'm definitely gonna be here for as long as I can because this league is just amazing. Yeah, I think that's it.
Larry, you told him about the age limit, though, right?
It's going to be a while. We've got some older drivers. I think he'll be around here for a very long time, unless somebody steals him away. We can't let that happen.
No, can't let that
Leo,
happen.
You're too much fun to interview, and you're too much fun to watch. Yeah, the progression's been great, all the way to the top of the leaderboard. Championship in GT3 AM, and right there at the front of the field each and every week. It's been incredible. My guess is you're going to get bumped up to GT3 Pro next year because you're just too fast. So congrats on all your success, and I can't wait to see you next season.
Yep, thank you.
All right, everybody, there you go. Our Season 8 GT3 AM champion, Leo Dragotta from Dragon Sport Racing. All right, so Larry, let's bring in one final person tonight, and that is going to be Jeff Jacobs, who's one of the administrators here of the World Challenge. And while we were talking, the drawing was held for the Buttkicker Gamer Plus package from our great sponsor, Buttkicker. Jeff held that, and I think he's got some news for us. Welcome, Jeff.
Yeah, hey, thanks so much. Really excited to have Buttkicker back with us again. This is to be the third Gamer Plus system that we're giving away. And what we did is, based on the championship points that all the drivers who participated this season earned over the course of the season, each point counted as an entry. We put that into those totals into the random drawer and had it pick a winner for us. And this season's winner is going to be our driver from Brazil, Iago Moraes. Really excited to have Iago win that. I know he didn't have good luck tonight on the track, but he certainly had it in the drawing afterwards.
Yeah, he's fast every week, and I tell you what, this is only going to make him faster. The rest of the field ought to look out. Iago's going to be even quicker there now with this new Buttkicker prize. Very, very cool. I don't know if Iago's around or if he's already taken off for the night, but congrats to him.
Yep, that's terrific. We will be sure to follow up with him. I know he had to check out early this evening, but we'll catch up with them, and really appreciate Buttkicker, stepping up and participating in the series this way. Anything that you can add, to your sim like this that sort of adds to that realism is just going to, like you said, make a fast driver even faster. So it'll be exciting to see what he does next season.
Yeah, awesome. And congrats to Iago, and thanks so much for Buttkicker for offering this once again. It's a great prize.
And if you'd like to get a Buttkicker system of your own, maybe your own Buttkicker Gamer Plus, you can go to thebuttkicker.com. Thanks so much, Jeff. I appreciate it. And Jeff's also given me some good insight and intel into the return of the World Challenge. We'll bring that up in just a moment as we talk about all of our upcoming Ricmotech series here. Thanks so much, Jeff. Really appreciate you
All right,
joining
thanks, guys.
All right, so Larry, why don't we start wrapping things up here? Because we've got to go and either work on our New Year's resolutions to lose weight and hit the gym along with Anna, or we have to pack some presents up for the holidays here. So let's take a look at what we have coming up in the next few weeks. As you can imagine, we are going to take a little bit of time off here with our 3 Ricmotech series, but we will return January 8th for season number 24 of the Ricmotech Touring Car Cup. That is our series for MX-5 Cup cars and the Toyota GR86 Cup cars. And I did receive word. I thought registration was originally supposed to open up on Wednesday, but registration is now open. If you would like to join us on track for that series, you can go to xmsracing.com/series/TCC and sign up for that. Again, that'll be starting on January 8th. And then the Ricmotech World Challenge, Larry, we don't get a lot of time off. Season number 9 starts up just a week later. That is going to be Monday night, January 15th. And our GTP and GT3 drivers, they're going to be heading to Carolina Motorsports Park, to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, Mosports. So David Payton, our winner, looking to fly the Maple Leaf there that night. And registration will be opening up. Let me take a look here. Jeff said that registration will be opening up December 18th. So that is next week.
Take away.
Yep. Next week. And so you can go to www.xmsracing.com/series/RWC, pardon me. So xmsracing.com/series/RWC. And then finally, season 6 of the Ricmotech Sports Car Series will restart in April. So for Larry Lefty McLeod, for John Grabowski, for everybody here at Apex Racing TV, I want to thank you all for joining us here, and have a wonderful holiday season, wonderful Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, you name it, and of course a Happy New Year. And we'll see you in just a few weeks.
Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, ricmotech.com.